Hey, what's up? This is DJ Prostyle.
And this is Penny Dellas.
And this is Teach Me Something.
Brought to you by Berkeley College.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. This is segment, or should I say episode 2
Episode
of
2.
Teach Me
Yes.
Something. Brought to you by Berkeley College. I am Prostyle, and we have the amazing Penny in the building.
Hey, everyone.
So, Penny, for everybody who doesn't know, Penny, what's your full name? Or do you want me to say it?
You're not going to say it. Okay, people, mi gente, we just had a whole offline conversation. The Greek people in the room. So my full name is Panayota Babadelis. It is the most Greek name you could have.
Yeah.
First name is really like the Holy One, Virgin Mary. Maria, my mom didn't know, so my middle name's Maria. We gave people way too much legal information right now.
Yeah.
But for my friends in entertainment, it's Penny Dellas for everyone else. So
Penny's in the building.
There you go.
Penny is here. Now, the first episode obviously was about learning about myself and my journey.
Yes.
Today's about your journey.
And we had so much fun that we didn't leave iHeart Studios. We're still here.
We're still here.
Filming episodes.
That's
Let's see
right.
how many we do today.
I still have my Berkeley hoodie on.
You know, that's right.
Let's see how many times you see me in the Berkeley hoodie.
I know.
How many episodes we
I
can
know.
get
For
through.
all of you listening, you'll probably see some photos on our socials, and we'll post Pro up there with his Berkeley swag.
So the headline for this episode is From the Stage to Strategy. And I guess this is basically, for whoever wrote that, gonna break down how you got to where you're at today. So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, so from stage. So high school, I was in theater production. We spoke about that in episode 1. So I fell in love with production. And at the time, not saying how old we are, Broadway was not in its height. And going to school in a small town, we didn't really have the educational background of where you could go at that time back in the early 2000s. So I said, all right, let's go into healthcare. It's what my family wanted. And loved bedside manner, loved being with patients. But that little entertainment, it kept calling my attention. So moved back to the city, right? Born in New Jersey, grew up in New York City, went upstate, came back, a lot of moving around. But being in the city, I just delved back into entertainment. So at 18, I was managing a couple of DJs, working with a DJ production company. I would do street promo on the side. Shout out to AJ Callejero and SBS and Alex Sensation and everyone. And just doing that and getting your feet wet. So I fell in love with entertainment and saw the other side of it. And I ended up going into bachata. Shout out to my family at Aventura and everyone I started with. And that turned into marketing. So I did everything from street team to PR to marketing.
Which is the way to do it. Which is the way to go.
You do everything. And we were talking about it in episode 1 where you try to deviate and do something else, but something always
pulls you back.
Right? Look at us.
It's your passion.
Look where we are today.
It's the passion. Tell people that passion is the most important thing. You have to have a passion for what you want to do.
You do.
And there's that saying, right? They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's true.
So
That's
even
true.
though it's your job, is it
really?
Is it really?
Is it really?
Like, I tell people all the time, like, how do I look complaining sometimes? Like, I have to go to the radio today. Like
look where we're sitting. This is work today.
This is work.
Like, we're filming a podcast. This
Absolutely,
is work. But yeah, so moving fast forward, I worked with many groups. We spoke in the last episode about one of your made it moments. And for me on my list was always, I wanted to enter the garden managing an artist. I wanted to be that person. Yeah, and being a female at the time in music management was not something that was common. You had maybe 2 or 3 people.
How did you, and before you got, actually, go ahead, finish this one.
Yeah, so I ended up working with a label, and there was an artist that we signed at 15, worked with him through. So at, I believe, 3 years in, we got him to open one of the mega concerts.
Yeah.
And I went in his management team. So that was my kind of you made it moment in terms of entertainment, ironically, because I did it myself. I proved to myself that I could do it. So, and then after that,
That's how you were done. You're like, I made it here. I'm out of here.
You made it here.
I don't want to manage you anymore.
No, but God bless him. We see each other all the time. We still keep in touch and everything.
I don't even know you're talking about that. So that's why I said that.
But no, and then life throws you curveballs.
Yeah.
And I ended up 10 years ago getting diagnosed with a terminal illness. This is when the podcast takes a turn. And went into the hospital because I always maintained healthcare, did this on the side. And when I went in, they said, yeah, you have renal failure, along with a couple of other issues. And I stayed there for 7 days. And I came out a completely different person. They said, you have 6 months.
Wow.
Get your life in order. This is it.
Wow.
So I came out of there. You go through the stages of depression, denial. What's the point? What do you do?
Yeah.
And my mom, bless her soul, she actually went to one of the top nephrologists in the state of New Jersey and begged him to look at my case. So he did, and he became my, full-time nephrologist, right? He gave me his cell. We were on 24-hour communication. And I remember sitting in his office, and he said, forget what they told you. Let's start over. Let's redo biopsies. Let's do all of these things. And through that, he said, entertain me for a second. He gave me a sheet of paper and a pen, and he said, write down 5 things you want to accomplish over 5 years. So I said, I don't think you read the file, because they told me 6 months. I had like 30 days at this point left. Like, what's the point? And he said, well, just write down what you want to accomplish. So first thing was open my own company. I wanted to start my own label. I did within a year.
Amazing.
Second thing was go back to school. I wanted to obtain a degree for myself, even if it was just a class.
Yeah.
I wanted to fulfill that for me. I said, I have all these years working in marketing and entertainment, but I've never been treated how I should. And I thought it was correlated to not having a degree. Not getting your flowers, not being appreciated, not being seen. So I said, you know what? Let me go sign up. So I actually applied to somewhere that was not Berkeley College, but let's keep that name out since that's not relevant to the story.
Yeah.
So
how dare you?
I know. How dare I?
That's why you don't have the hoodie.
I'm just playing. But I did. I applied to a couple of different places, and my brother actually found Berkeley College on Google. And he said, you know what? I know you're looking for broadcasting and this type of thing because you were on radio, you did all these things, but maybe you should really look at this degree program. It's a business program with a minor in marketing and PR at the time. So I said, you know what? Let me look at that. I walked in, no appointment, and I told the admissions rep, I just want to register for one class. She said, we don't do that. And I said, you don't understand. Like, I just need one class. Ended up telling her the whole story. We cried together in the office. I ended up enrolling. And every semester, I would go to academic advisement and say, I only want to schedule this semester because I don't know if I'm going to be here next semester. And she would look at me like, what the heck is this kid talking about, as a non-traditional student. So I would have to divulge the whole story again. And it was always, okay, let's figure it out. So one semester at a time turned into an associate's degree. That turned into a bachelor's degree at Berkeley College, so a BBA in marketing and communications. And through my bachelor's, I ended up going in and becoming the first teaching assistant for the honors program. So at Berkeley, we have an honors scholar program. It's kind of like a bridge from high school to college.
Yeah.
And it's very community service oriented. There are scholarships, cool things. So I ended up TAing 2 English classes, so writing through research and writing through literature. And it was a life-changing experience for me. I fell in love with the power of education.
Yeah.
And to be able to see these students have that aha moment
Yeah.
when they figured something out. And that turned into me saying, I want to go ahead for my master's so I can come back and teach and give a little bit of what I received throughout my journey. Because if it wasn't for all of the student resources, the professors, the student development and campus life, which acclimates you right to the college life, academic advisement, making those schedules.
Yeah.
We have counseling, right? Therapy, we all need it. So having all of those accommodations and student resources is what really brought me through that journey. And I'm so grateful to all of those people who aided me through that journey. And there's a tagline, not to get too marketing, but at Berkeley College, your potential is our promise. And when you go in, I went in for a class, and what I got out of the experience was not only 3 degrees in 5 years, we can talk about the tears later because it was a rigorous time.
Yeah.
But I built a community. And through that, starting in tutoring led to me working in the communications department, which led to me working in marketing. And in 3 years, I've been promoted 3 times. So I'm now the head of marketing and communications for Berkeley College. And through that, it's establishing the power of partnerships, which is why I'm here with you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
With iHeartMedia. It's bringing your transferable skills from your entire walk of life and saying, how do I elevate everyone in the room, not just myself? I've been talking for a very long time, Pro.
I mean,
so,
it's amazing. I don't even want to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I mean, first of all,
that's-
your story is just amazing.
Yeah.
And to
thank
think
you.
how it started. I mean, you went in there
Yeah.
for
One class. I just wanted to prove to myself I could do one class.
And-
I'm like, if I'm not here
and
tomorrow.
God bless you too. I mean, your story
you,
and
amen.
what you've had to deal with mentally, I could only imagine. I couldn't,
Yeah.
But there's that saying that God only gives the strongest. What is it? The battles to the strongest. His strongest
You know,
soldiers.
I've heard that, and sometimes it's like, ¿cuánto más
Yeah.
puedo tener?
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
plate, and it's like, please give me a break.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of more trials and tribulations that we go
Mhm.
through, and at the time you don't understand. We're always thinking about the why. We spoke about our dads in
Yeah.
episode 1 and how they were
Mhm.
drummers. I lost my dad at 22.
Yeah.
And you think at the moment, the why. Why is this happening to me? But years later, you realize it's the why this happened for me. And what was the purpose? It was to fulfill your purpose and put you on a path
100%.
to inspire others to aspire to creating that impact.
And this is
And
what
that's
we
the goal.
And we touched
Yeah.
this on episode 1. This is what's going to make. And you asked
Yeah.
me why I thought doing this would be a great idea. And it's stories like yours. Do you know how many people will
Yeah.
see this, that they're going through
Mm.
something health-wise related, who want to do all these things and don't
Yeah.
know if they have the time or if they could push through, and they're going to
Mm.
see what you're doing and what you've done. And this is going to help them get through. If you're watching right now and you're going through something, I
Yeah.
mean, look what she's done. Look
Yeah.
where she's at. And I mean, and that's just some of your story, obviously, but
We have
it's
so
just
many more
amazing.
stories. And
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
And I'm really excited to see everything else we divulge
Mhm.
as, over the next
Oh,
X
yeah.
amount of weeks.
What
And
I mean, from what
and
we've
what we're
talked about, what
doing,
we're going to be
but
doing, and bringing
yeah.
people in, and bringing, from professors to, students who've gone on to become successful out of Berkeley,
Yeah.
to people who are celebrities. We're going to bring some celebrity friends in here
Yeah.
and talk to them, and
Pro and
have,
friends.
Yeah,
We're going
pro
to
and
bring them
friends.
into the pod.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great. It's going to be great. But so where are you at today?
Well, stable. Everything's stable. Gracias a Dios, we're good, and you just take it one day at a time. It's funny because one of my colleagues that's in the room with us today, from shout out to Berkeley College alumna, she's here supporting today, doing some BTS. We were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago about what are we doing?
Yeah.
Where are we going? How do we continue to be the impact? And we've both taught at Berkeley College, and it's really about that. It's transcending onto others, and how are we going to uplift each other?
Yeah.
And building that community. And it's extremely important. Climates change on a daily basis, but it's what are we doing for one another? It's not just about the me.
Yeah.
It's about the we.
And that's why
Yeah.
this is going to work.
Yeah,
It
we're
goes back-
doing this great podcast.
Our episode 1 and 2 intertwine. It's funny, like
I know.
like you were saying, listening
Yeah.
to my story. It's listening to yours, and obviously they're different aspects, right? Different stories, but the overall ending is the same, which is like same thing with me. Like I said, I've always been the type who wanted to open doors for other people, and
Mhm.
and I'm always helping others instead of being this person who's like all about me and what could I do for myself. It's what could we do for others, which is what this whole podcast is going to be about.
And that's what it's about, mentorship.
Mhm.
I've had many mentors throughout my different walks of, I feel like I've lived 5 lives in one.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed.
Well, what you've been going,
what
what you've gone through in your story, for sure.
with the trajectory, and there's more things that we go through on a personal level and professional level, and they intertwine, like you were saying, they bleed over. But it has been interesting to see the positives, and mentorship is one of the big ones. We spoke about in episode 1, how
Yeah.
you mentor the upcoming DJs, and
Mhm.
I've mentored in industry just like I mentor our students. And I had mentors that I still have at Berkeley College. So that's
Yeah.
a huge aspect of what we do. Our interns, our mentorship programs, they're extremely robust, and those transcend through decades
Hey,
sometimes. which
since
is
you
great.
work with DJs,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to do an episode. Look for it, where we're going to bring some DJs, like up and coming DJs in here,
Yeah.
and
Really cool.
see what they're going through, where they're at, and what stage they're at in their careers, and what
Yeah.
advice you could give them and I could give them, because we've both
That'll
me
be
being a
really
DJ,
cool.
you managing DJs.
Yeah, that'll
I
be
mean,
really
that
cool.
be two sides of the spectrum being able to help them out. I think that would be an awesome
Yeah,
one.
that'll be really cool. We actually, this is going to be a teaser for another episode, but we did develop part of our applied media program.
Yeah.
So our applied media program is basically taking a look at media communications under a different lens and looking at the ethics side, the artificial intelligence side, right?
Mm-hmm.
All those buzz things that are going on. And we developed an initiative within the program called Mentors in Media, which we partnered with iHeart to launch, which was really cool. So we're going to be bringing in Crystal Rosas from Z100.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of different personalities. Students got to come in and shadow Maxwell, Crystal, the Angie Martinez, Lamboogs, the whole team, and see what a live show
bring them
looked
all in
like.
here,
so
too.
yeah,
bring
so
them all in
it's
here.
going to be really cool to see all of these like full circle moments and seeing how things come back.
That's going to be awesome. Going back to Berkeley, right? Because there's one thing. So for anybody watching this for the first time, right, and hearing this for the first time and not even understanding, and they want to know more about Berkeley, where, like online, where could they go immediately? Their website?
Yeah, so let me give you the little spiel. So Berkeley College was founded in 1931. It started off as a secretarial school, right? And then it became a business school. Later on, decades later, it's a family-owned and run business, which is really cool. My boss is actually the chairman, Mr. Kevin Lewing. He hates when you call him that, but but it's really cool. A lot of their kids are in the institution as well. They're a delightful family, and there's actually a statue outside one of our campuses, and around his feet, it says, "The student always comes first." It was his motto, and it's what we live by. We eat, sleep, and breathe that. And having been through that myself is why I choose to stay at Berkeley, because I believe in the impact and what we're doing. We serve low socioeconomic communities. So I always say the nation's minority is our majority, right? Starting by Hispanic, followed by African-American, and so forth. So, it really is, if you want community, if you want, student to teacher ratio, I believe. Student to teacher ratio is 17-1.
Wow.
So you do get that one-on-one experience. You get that from the classroom through resources.
And to put in perspective, so somewhere else would be what? For
I
instance?
mean, go to City College and you're going to be in a hall with 2,000 people.
Wow.
For orientation. So it's very different than being in an orientation.
This is a learning lesson for me as well, too, right? I wasn't able to go through this. So this is, for me, it's like, wow.
Yeah, but no, the beauty about Berkeley College is it started off as secretarial school, went into School of Business, and now we have 3 schools. And what that means is we have the Larry Ellowing School of Business. So if you want a business degree and associates, a Bachelor of Business Administration, which is different than a Bachelor of Science because it's concentrated coursework. So it's an actual credential, all the way to a Master's of Business Administration, which is what I achieved at Berkeley. Then we have the School of Health Studies, so from medical assistant to Master of Science in Nursing. And then we have the School of Professional Studies. You like graphic design, there's the BFA program in graphic design. We have interior design. We have 3D visualization. So there's something for everybody, depending on what you're looking for. But ultimately, what was the deciding factor for me were those student resources and the treatment I got from the moment I walked through the door. To have someone really hold my hand and say, we're going to be through this together. It's a we situation. It's not a you situation. Let's do the FAFSA. Let's do this. Let's set up your packaging. And it's that catered experience is what really sold me. So if you are interested, I do recommend you check us out. Just look us up. Everyone's on social media. So at Berkeley College. Don't confuse us with the other ones. So it's BERKELEY. We will tag it. And then you can go to berkeleycollege.edu, learn about our curriculum, learn about applying if you're looking to restart your career. Most of our students are non-traditional, meaning you come back as an adult and you know what you want, you're ready.
Yeah. I was going to say, so what do you do for the people, and I saw this on this, so for the students out there, whatever age you are, who just don't know what they want to do in life yet, how do you suggest they, look into Berkeley? And is there a way that it will help them guide their decision?
Yeah, so we have open houses every quarter. We have open houses that's a system open house, which means you come in and learn about what everything has to offer. There's also, if you go to our events page, so you go to the website, berkeleycollege.edu, and at the top, you can hover over events. And you go in there and it shows you the calendar. We have open houses for every program as well. So maybe you're interested in something creative, but you don't know what that means.
Yeah, yeah.
You like numbers, but you don't like accounting. Maybe that's marketing, right? We review data and stats. That's what I do. Maybe you like the creative side, but you don't want to do marketing, advertising, management. You want to draw, go into graphic design. So I would recommend going to the website. There's a chat box, so you can chat with a live representative right there.
That's awesome.
And say, hey, I'm interested, but I'm not really sure what I want to go in. They'll set up a call with you and walk you through the different options. And then there you can come to an open house. You can schedule an appointment and just come in and get a tour of campus, right? If you want to, we have 3 campuses in New Jersey, Newark, Woodbridge, and Woodland Park. Woodland Park is the largest, Newark, and Newark's right by Prue. We were just talking about Prudential. And then New York City right here in Midtown, 43rd and 5th Avenue. And then we also have online where you can study from anywhere. So we always say on campus, online, or a blend of both. So you can kind of cater your program to what works for you.
It's amazing how everything has gone online too. Like,
I know.
People are getting degrees online.
I know. We've been doing online learning over 25 years.
That's one thing I thought about doing for a while.
Yeah.
Because
Bro, we're gonna enroll you in a degree.
I need to come out.
We're gonna enroll you. We're gonna hood you at that commencement.
Yeah, I want all that.
I know.
I'm gonna enroll in something for sure. Now that I feel like, like I've settled down. We talked about that. Like I feel like I have the time. And
entrepreneurship.
And just speaking to you about this gets me excited about it. So
yes. Okay. See, I'm already influencing. And look, this is the purpose of this.
You're influencing me to want to go. Like I'm about to go online and see what Berkeley can do.
You see, berkeleycollege.edu. Go online and see.
So going back to the first episode, you asked me a very a great question, which is if I could go back to my younger self, what advice would I give myself? And same question goes to you.
She deserves so many things aside from advice. I will say, when we're younger, at least when I was younger, I tend to believe that everyone was like me. And let me delve into that. I was a very pure kid, and I thought people were like me. I wore my emotions on my sleeve. I was very giving, very maternal-like. And working in the industries that we work in, you realize that is not the case early on, but you want to see the good in people, and you want to believe that so much that you just pour yourself into everything you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? So going back to her, I would just say, allow yourself a little bit of grace. Everything will turn out okay. And trust the process, as gruesome as you may believe it to be. And through all of the hardships you will go through, there is light at the end of the tunnel, even if you don't see it right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you miss doing any of the stuff you used to do, like the managing and being behind the scenes and at those concerts?
I do. I still delve into it.
I see you're still outside.
I know.
You're still outside.
I still delve into it. I do service-based things. So I do have my entrepreneurial side, and I still do things, here and there. And then through Berkeley, look, we get to do this. So I still.
And we're going to be bringing artists and friends on to the
Yeah,
show.
I still tap into it. I still do the concerts. We were, hanging out with La Mega the other day. So we still delve with things.
I've missed you now twice. You've been, I think, twice to events I've been at. But
I know.
I get there
We've
too
like
late.
just passed each other.
You tell me you were there, and I'm like, what do you mean you were there?
Yeah. But even when we were younger, we actually crossed paths.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But you were on the pedestal, pro. Let's not, you were the king of the DJs at that time. But no, I think this industry is, people think it's so big.
It's so small.
It's so small.
No, that's something I tell people all the
time.
It is such a small, the world is crazy. Have you ever traveled somewhere and you run into people and you're like, what's the odds that I run into you here?
That's insane.
I'll go to I think it was somewhere overseas, France or somewhere south of France. And I'm just running into people from here, and I'm looking at them like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I'm just like,
what is going on?
Like, what? It's like everyone's kind of intertwined, but this industry is very small. And it goes back to, when you get into any industry, and I'm sure, everyone says the same thing, right? It's why it's so important to build those relationships and to maintain them.
100%.
And just to be, truthful to yourself and to everyone, because it's a small world. It's a small business. It's a tight circle.
It really is. For all of my Gen Zs, I'm just going to give you some advice as a marketer, as an employer, right? Because I interview, I hire. be careful about what you put on the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm sounding so old right now, but it's the honest truth, because whether you delete it or not, it's there forever. It's timestamped. That API crawling is no joke, and it stays there. And when we're young, we may do, and I'm being inclusive, but we may do things that maybe you're not proud of later, or you don't think it's an issue, or, right now the social media consumption is insane, how they consume content.
Do you ever post anything and then get embarrassed? It happens to me sometimes. I
Really?
don't post embarrassing things for myself. I don't really care. I'm kind of open.
Yeah.
I regulate what I post, but then what's surprising to me is the amount of people that follow sometimes you, right? So like, I'll post like crazy nightlife stuff, like I'm DJing at a club here. It could be a concert, or it could be a strip club, right? So there's crazy things.
There's things.
Yeah, there's things that are being recorded and sometimes put out there. And then I'll like go to my like kid's school, and then like one of the parents or the teachers or somebody be like, oh, happy birthday! Yeah. I saw you were here. I saw on your Instagram you were here, and I look and I'm like, you follow my Instagram?
Well, when you're younger, you post a lot of like I used to post so much content because managing groups, it was. You were Club Life tour from Wednesday to Sunday, 100%. And then I worked my full-time job, then I was going to school. So you just post everything. And then now it's like, students have found me.
Yeah.
On Instagram, they find me on TikTok.
That's
they find me
and
on...
now they're going to match your face to the podcast.
Yeah. So you can't post... Not that we're posting crazy things, but entertainment, you do have the nightlife. 100%. And it's not that you're condoning or promoting, but... It's part of the thing.
Even flyers sometimes. Sometimes I have to post flyers that it just looks crazy, and I'm just like, whatever. It's part of my job.
I do have the issue though where, and it's funny because mentoring, like we said, I always advise when I give branding workshops and I give commercial workshops and all these things. I always say we tend to be our biggest points of judgment.
Yeah.
And we overthink everything. Yeah. Just post it.
Yeah.
But then not to myself, I'm like, Let me edit this. Let me cut it real quick. Let me, but
that's how I am with social media. Well, first of all, I'm old school, right? I can only do one thing. So I'm doing Instagram, and that's it. People are like,
so many platforms,
this, that? I'm like,
there's so many platforms,
I can only handle one.
No.
And that one, I just add the other ones to it. So like, I never logged into Facebook. I don't do Twitter anymore.
No.
I have like a bunch of followers on Twitter. Maybe I'll start now that we have
I do most of them, but like Twitter, right? X now.
Or X, yeah.
X.
I still call it Twitter.
We still call it. We're old school, but X. It's become more. It was entertainment, then it becomes Berkeley. LinkedIn, 100%. That's your professional.
Yeah.
What Facebook was supposed to be, that's LinkedIn. Everyone should have a LinkedIn profile, regardless of what you do for work. Yeah. You should have that. That is how you build a community. There's free webinars. There's so many resources.
We're going to create mine on the next episode.
We're going to do that. We're going to create your business profile.
Do it live.
So, But LinkedIn, you should. Facebook, I just use it for high school. Like I have my 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
So we're planning that. So
that's awesome.
So it's family. I don't accept people that are from work. And I'm sorry. I love you all. But you have to create those boundaries of space is for this. Yeah. This space is for that. Don't get me started on the WhatsApp.
And entertainment is kind of hard.
I know. It's hard.
There is no boundary,
Todo
right?
se liga, right?
It's all one thing. So,
but we try.
I'll post a flyer and then a picture of my son after. Like it's the same. It's like it's all meshed together. All right. Well, that was episode 2. We're wrapping up episode 2 of Teach Me Something with Berkeley College and the amazing Penny.
Yes.
First of all,
am I turning into Cher? I'm just gonna go by Penny now.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Let's not get into that again, Pro. I think we've made it this far.
Oh my God! And listen, I'm gonna say this: my voice is gonna get better as these episodes go by because I'm coming off of a birthday weekend.
Yes, you are. This is pre-recorded.
Yes,
so we just came off of a very large,
busy, intense week.
Yes,
and I've been fighting through the voice, but no, I think your story. I just want to say thank you for sharing it.
Thank you.
You've gone through so much in life, and I hope that this episode, just motivates somebody who may be going through the same thing.
I hope that it helps someone. Mm-hmm. I really do.
You motivated me to like.
There we go.
Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get on Berkeley.
We're teaching so many things, and the audience hasn't even checked into the chat yet.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
For those of you tuning in only through audio, do follow us at DJ Prostyle, at Berkeley College, at Penny Dellas on all platforms.
Yep.
And tune in next Monday for Teach Me Something.
See you there.
Hey, thanks for listening. Tune in next week
for an all new episode of Teach Me Something.
Brought to you by Berkeley College.